right, here we go. The 6AX Classic Breakfast with Nat and Westo.
It is 10 past 7 or 10 past 4 p.m. in Los Angeles, which is where our guest this morning, Jim Jeffries, is. And if I have pushed all of these buttons correctly, we should be getting Jim on a Zoom to phone thing. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
I could hear Jim in the background saying, what is wrong with the technology we've got here? And I was asking myself the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's happened to Australia? Is the Strait of Hormuz holding away camera footage? Can you not get it in anymore?
We've got equipment here that goes back to 1964, mate. So the fact that we've even got a phone line is incredible, mate.
Yeah. It's usually
It
like...
must be exciting to be talking to America right now. This must be a real joy for you.
How is it in the States?
Weather is lovely as always. Our president is a doctor who's helping us every day in the most wonderful ways. It's a peaceful place. Everyone's getting along. You wouldn't know anything's wrong. Everyone's getting along.
Thank you for giving us some of your time. Should we talk about
That's right.
the 1% Club? 7 p.m. Sundays, 7 and 7 plus, hosted by your good self.
It's a job I actually love doing. If you told me a decade ago you'd be a game show host, I would have laughed at you. But now it's like, there's no better job on earth than telling someone they've won $100,000.
Yeah.
That's a joy.
But it looks to me like you are having fun. Like it's a fun show and you can see that you are actually enjoying yourself.
I like to talk to people. It's very light ribbing, you know what I mean? I always say to contestants in the warm-up before the show, there's two ways to get on telly, and that's to get the last question right or the first question wrong. If you get that first 90% question wrong, you're going to get on the telly. It won't be pleasant for you, but you're going to get on. Because to get that question wrong, you have to be a simpleton. Like, these are really remarkably easy questions. And then you'll always say to someone, go, I didn't see that the picture, so the koala's on the Eiffel Tower. So that's what's wrong. I thought the other one was wrong because the Opera House was back the front, but they just turned out and took the camera angle on the other side. It's always great when you knock out the stupid people because the stupid people don't know they're dumb. So they always give reasoning to you. I can't do the quiz myself. I get knocked out about 40%. In the first 2 seasons, I used to play along in my head. I used to see a question, and then I used to play along. And now I don't play along because I know I can't get it.
Yeah.
I know I'm too dumb. I was at a funeral in Australia about a year ago, and there was a politician there at the funeral. The politician comes up to me. I won't say who it is. They were like, hey, we're so sorry for your loss. And I said, that's very nice of you to come. Thank you. Then, because he didn't see me crying in the moment, he leant in and he went like this. He goes, I got one of the 1% questions the other day. And I said, did you? Did you? Oh, that's good. And so I always keep a couple of 1% questions in my back pocket to say at parties and stuff like that. And people always gather around. People want to get them right.
It's just so off the cuff. I mean, do you have those combats in your head already, or is it just completely let it go when you're up on stage?
The episode recordings are a lot longer than what you see, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's cut out. I don't even watch my swearing or anything. I just figure that eventually they'll be able to edit it down to a small amount of minutes where I'm being polite to everyone. If I go down to a Woolworths or a Coles in Australia, 80-year-old women love me now. That came out of nowhere. They were never my demo. I had a lady come up and go, you're the host of my favourite show. She goes, you say horrible things, but you have kind eyes. So I take that as a compliment.
Well, I'm assuming that you're doing okay financially, but Jim, that could be a plan for you. Like, find yourself a wealthy older lady,
yes.
wait for it to drop off, and happy days, you can retire.
Or I could just get on that Cowshy app and give some people some inside tradings on who's going to win the next episode of the 1% Club, and I can make away like a bandit. We've all got plans.
Inside trading, interesting. Have you been making any large movements in, say, the oil market?
Every day I try to produce some fertiliser just to help out the Australians. I know that you're running a bit low at the moment. That's what I've been told. Is the biggest problem is no fertiliser down there.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk that was going to be the big issue? There was just not enough on a back of a truck to really keep Australia running.
How long does it normally take to record one episode?
3 to 4 hours. The thing is, because there's 100 contestants, and you have to speak to almost everyone because you have to see who is going to be the contestant that will go all the way through. So you have to have a through line like that. And obviously some people are more game to have a chat than other people. Some people are just focused on the actual game. And also I'm no good at teleprompts, so we've got to read them over and over again because I always stuff up the intro or something like that. I'll tell you the question that makes everyone happy every episode, right? At about the 2-hour mark, I look at the contestants and go, time for the next question. Who would like a piss break? And they all cheer. You've never seen it. a group of 100 people more happy. They're all so excited when they come back. Their mood is completely different every time. We have to have security guards follow them down to the toilets because sometimes some people who have already been knocked out are a bit filthy about it and they try to jump the fence and run. And then we have to put interns in their seats. You have to have the contestants sitting there for the pan shot, right? But we have lost people who have run.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Or faked heart attacks or strokes or anything. They're terrible people.
At least with that question, who needs a toilet break? You can't get it wrong, so you've got to feel good about yourself.
Sometimes I'll get like just a hand go up. I need to go to the toilet. And I'll hear in my earpiece, the producer will be like this, no, they have one more question and then they can all go to the toilet. And I'm like this, I'm not telling the 80-year-old woman she can't go to the toilet. In breaks, I always just walk around and chat to the people who have always been knocked out. And I keep a couple of like red rippers and some frogs and some Cadbury bits in my pocket and I hand them to the people who are bored.
God bless you. Hey?
Try to keep everyone engaged, you know. You want everyone to have a good time. I want people leaving the show actually having a fun experience because it is a long day. I'll tell you a story, right? So one time on my iPad, I get notes. When I start talking to a person, they tell me the seat number and they tell me the name of the person. And then on the iPad, it'll say the name of the person, where they're from, and maybe a fun fact about them. The fun fact will always be it's something as trivial as being a Swiftie or something as exciting as climbing Everest and everything in between.
Yeah.
And my producer, he says in my ear, go speak to Jenny, seat number 17. And so I turn and I go, g'day, Jenny, where are you from and what do you do? And Jenny goes, hi, Jim, I'm from Sydney and I'm a maths teacher. And I looked down at my iPad and I looked back up at her and I went, and a MILF. And she just looked at me like this and she goes, what's a MILF? And I said, don't be coy with me. I go, everyone here, Jenny's a self-confessed MILF. It was on her profile. I said, Jenny's a self-confessed MILF. And she goes, what's a MILF? And I said, well, it's a mum I like to. And then I opened it up to the other 99 contestants. They all yelled the F word at her. Then I hear in my earpiece, stop talking right now. Those are my notes. Got mixed up into the iPad. He left me out, hanging out there like no one's business. No.
So you didn't get a date out of that one then, Jim?
No. But I think she was quite flattered. She was like, oh. Like, I bluffed my way out of it. Anyway, good luck to you, Jenny. Hope you do well in the quiz. And then I was off to the next person.
Wow. So aside from the 1% Club, which continues 7 p.m. Sundays on 7 and 7 Plus, we'll have the pleasure of your company on the Son of a Carpenter tour, July 30, RAC Arena.
I always look forward to it. Look, I love Perth. I went to university in Perth. Follow the Perth Bears, my rugby league team now. And I think when I retire and I come back to Australia one day, which is my plan in life, I think I'll land up in Perth. I like it. You know, so when we're on tour, the whole family's coming. We're doing it like the Partridge Family. It's school holidays. So my two little boys, my wife, and my mother-in-law's coming with me. So my mother-in-law and my wife and the littlest boy are going to stay in Sydney, Perth, and Gold Coast. And then me and my son, the 13-year-old, are going to do all the other cities. And I used to make him bartend at the back of the venue. But he was making too much money because all the people, he was American and he put out a tip jar. And he was making away with like $300-400 a show. And I was like, he's not learning the value of $1 at all. So this tour, I'm actually going to try to work him pretty hard. But the one little fun job I do give him is he announces me on stage from the voice of God before I walk on stage. So he did that all across Europe with me. And the first couple of shows, he got on the microphone. He was like this. Please welcome Jim Jeffries. That was like his big announcement.
Yeah.
But then as the show gets on, you go, you're here to see this man weighing in at 210 pounds, 6 foot tall, a ball of comedy. Like he was giving intros like that. I just look at him like, speed it up, mate. Right? So if you hear a 13-year-old at one of my gigs announcing me on, I know the kid. That's what I want you to know.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Jim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's hoping it doesn't.
Now, the name of the tour is Son of a Carpenter. Are you indeed the son of a carpenter?
I am. My father's a carpenter. Also, you might see the pictures of me with the wings on the poster and think to yourself, oh, it's some Jesus reference, but that's not. In that picture, I'm actually a doctor. I'm just so you know, I'm a doctor on the poster. I'm not depicting myself as Jesus anyway. I think that would be in poor taste. But yeah, my father's a carpenter from Queensland, man. Not just a carpenter, he was a cabinet maker. Yeah, I always admired that my father was good with his hands because I'm bloody hopeless. I can't build anything.
How did your dad take you when you said, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to be a comedian"? Is that a conversation you had when you were younger?
He was a lot better with it than my mother was. My mother's exact words were, "Oh, you're going to be in smoke-filled rooms with alcoholics all day." And I'm like, that's all I've ever wanted. I studied at Whopper, right? That's why I was out in Perth.
Yeah.
And I studied musical theatre and then opera singing. When I got out of the musical theatre, I went into the opera singing course. And I got nodules on my vocal cords, couldn't sing anymore. I'd already started doing stand-up at like the Brass Monkey on a Wednesday.
Yep.
And then this might be a little bit off colour, but I'll tell you a story, right? So you remember the Claremont killer, no doubt, right?
Yes.
There was a serial killer in Claremont.
Yep.
And that meant that the Claremont Hotel, no one was going to it.
Yeah.
It was completely empty because everyone was worried.
Excellent.
And I saw that as an opportunity. So I held a comedy night there on a Friday and a Saturday. And I made sure everyone from university came and I made sure everyone got home safe and all that sort of stuff. But I never would have gotten that venue on a Friday or Saturday. So for about a year there, I ran a comedy club in Perth. And I used to go out like around Claremont flying to come to the show. And gee, people probably thought I was the killer. I was always walking around bloody Claremont all the time. But I used to run those gigs. Now, my father was always into comedy because my father had a good sense of humour. My mother was a humorless human being, so she didn't understand what that was going to be all about. So my mum used to come and see my shows, and then when I started doing theatres, she would come to the theatres and watch me. And I remember one time being at the Enmore Theatre in Sydney. This is 15, 16 years ago now. And it was like there was a light around her. Every time I walked on stage, all I could see was her. And I'm saying the C word and the F word, and I'm telling these stories and all type of stuff. And I don't care who you are. You don't want your mum actually in the room while you're doing these things.
Yep.
And I would break out in this terrible sweat, right? Because she would just sit there and just never laugh. She would just sit there just not laughing, just staring at me. And then after a few shows, I said, "Mum, you can't come anymore. You don't enjoy it." I said, "You can sit backstage if you want, but you can't sit in the audience. It makes me too nervous, and you don't seem to be enjoying it." And she goes, "But I enjoy everyone else enjoying it." That was the proud mum thing. She just enjoyed that there was a couple of thousand people sitting there watching her son. She didn't understand why they were laughing or how they were laughing, but she appreciated that it was happening.
And she was really proud of you.
Well, she would have much rather me being an opera singer or a musical theatre guy. Remember that show, Keeping Up Appearances?
Yes!
Where that woman Hyacinth
Bouquet.
That was my mum, man. That was my mum. She would have liked me to be in a higher station than the muddy comedian I became, you know. One time my mother was in hospital. The other woman in the hospital, they get to chatting after a couple of days. There's another bed in there and she turns and talks to them. And they have a bit of a mum off. What do your kids do? And so my mother went, "Oh, one of my sons is a police officer and one of my sons works in shopping centres. My brother helped develop Karrinyup Shopping Centre. He lives in Perth." And then she goes, "And my youngest son's an international comedian." And then the lady went, "Oh, yeah, my son's an international comedian as well." Like that, right? And my mum was like, "Oh, come on." She goes, "My son writes and plays music and plays piano at a classical level. My son's just writing a musical called Matilda and his name's Tim Mitchell." And then my mother went, "Well, my son says the C word a lot." And that was sort of, you know, there's only one comic in the country that could have top-trumped me, and my mum was laying in the bed next to there, so you know what I mean. So that's
my gosh.
unfortunate for her.
Oh, Jim, you are an absolute delight, mate. Thank you so much. People need to book in for Son of a Carpenter, your comedy tour, which is happening at RAC Arena July 30, and you can get the tickets through jimjeffries.com.
Yeah, see you then. Thanks for having me.
I'll let you get back to insider trading.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
The Classic Breakfast with Nat and Westo. Weekday mornings from 5:30 on 6AX.
I'm done. Stick a fork in me. I feel good.